You work 40+ hours a week. You get your paycheck, you pay your bills, you save a little, you repeat. And somehow, despite working harder every year, you never seem to get ahead. That's not an accident. That's the system working exactly as designed. The salary trap isn't about how much you make, it's about how the entire structure of employment is built to keep you financially dependent, psychologically compliant, and just comfortable enough that you never risk leaving. Quick disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. This is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Consult a professional before making any financial decisions. Now let's break down the salary trap. Here's the fundamental design of the salary system. You trade your time for money, but only enough money to keep you coming back. In 2026, the median household income in America is about $81,000. Sounds decent, right? Until you realize that after taxes, the average household takes home about $63,000. That's $5,250 per month. Now let's look at median expenses. Housing, $1,850, transportation, $900, food, $800, insurance, $500, utilities, $350, and everything else. You're left with maybe $1,000 to $1,500 per month, if you're lucky, and that's before debt payments, healthcare costs, or anything unexpected. So you're earning just enough to survive with a tiny surplus that disappears the moment life happens. You're not broke, but you're not free. You're dependent. And that dependency is the point, because if you had 6 months of expenses saved, you could take risks, you could negotiate harder, you could quit a bad job, you could start a business. But if you're living paycheck to paycheck, which 60% of Americans are, even those making 6 figures, you can't afford to rock the boat. The system needs you dependent. A financially independent employee is a flight risk. A paycheck-dependent employee is controllable. Let's talk about the myth of job security. You're told to value stability. Get a good job, stick with it, work your way up. Get your annual 3% raise, build your 401k. In 30 years, you can retire. But here's the reality. The average raise in 2026 is 3 to 4%. Inflation is running at 3%. You're not getting ahead, you're treading water. Meanwhile, people who switch jobs every 2 to 3 years earn 50% more over their careers than people who stay loyal to one company. That's not a small difference. That's the difference between retiring comfortably and struggling. But companies don't want you to know this, so they sell you job security. They give you a title, they give you benefits, they give you a 401k match, which is just them giving you back a tiny portion of the value you create for them. And in exchange, you give them your most productive years, your best ideas, and your loyalty, while they pay you the minimum they can get away with. The irony, there's no such thing as job security anymore. Layoffs happen constantly. Companies restructure. Entire industries disappear. The only real security is owning your income sources, not being dependent on one employer. But admitting that would mean admitting the salary trap is a trap. So instead, we're told to be grateful for the opportunity. Now let's talk about the psychological manipulation that keeps this system running. Trick number 1. The annual review and small raise. You work all year, you perform well. Review time comes. They tell you you're valued. They give you a 4% raise. You feel appreciated. You don't realize that 4% on $70,000 is $2,800 or $233 per month before taxes. That's $175 after taxes. You just worked a full year for an extra $6 per day. Meanwhile, switching jobs would get you a 15 to 20% raise minimum. That's $10,500 to $14,000. But you stayed because they made you feel valued with a 4% crumb. Trick number 2. We're a family. Companies love using family language. We're a team. We take care of our own. This creates emotional obligation. You don't leave family. But here's the truth. When the company needs to cut costs, they'll lay you off without hesitation. The family is a one-way street. Trick number 3, the golden handcuffs. Stock options that vest in 4 years, 401k matches that you don't fully own for 5 years. These aren't benefits, they're retention mechanisms. They're designed to make you think, I can't leave now, I'm so close to vesting. You're being paid in future promises to stay now, and by the time you vest, they've got you for another cycle. Here's the fundamental problem with salaries. Your income is capped by hours in a day. If you make $50 per hour and work 40 hours per week, your max income is $104,000 per year, before taxes, assuming 2 weeks off. To double your income, you'd need to double your hourly rate. Good luck getting your boss to pay you $100 an hour when they're paying you $50. But the bigger issue is this. Trading time for money means you stop earning when you stop working. Take a vacation? No income. Get sick? No income. Retire? No income, except what you saved. Compare this to someone who owns assets that generate income, real estate that produces rent, a business that operates without them, investments that compound. These people earn while they sleep. The salary trap keeps you thinking in terms of how much per hour instead of how much while I'm not working.